Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Peter here. Today's video is from the house of Zoologist and it's called Macaque. The perfumer behind this is Sarah McCartney, who has her own house called 4160 Tuesdays. She's got quite a unique taste, I would say. Her fragrances are very different. I don't think I've ever smelled anything quite her style. She's definitely got her own way of doing things. I'll leave a link to her blog below because she's actually got a very interesting blog. You can, if you're interested more in how perfume works and the industry and how things are made, she's very knowledgeable and she talks about it in her blog. It's worth a read. She also teaches perfume classes, so if you'd like to learn yourself how to make a perfume, she runs perfume days where you can go and you can learn for the day and make your own perfume, which I think is really great. So I will put the links below if anyone's interested. I've pestered her a few times on emails asking advice myself, and she's always very helpful and responds, helping me, even though I'm probably quite annoying. So what I get from this in the opening is a mix of a little bit of apple and kind of a lot of galbanum. I don't think apple is really perfected in perfume. I've got apple CO2 extract, and even though it's derived naturally, it smells kind of like apple flavour hubba bubba, like chewing gum, apple chewing gum, and then as it kind of dries down a little bit on your skin, it kind of turns into what I remember as apple cider lollies. So it has kind of a weird dry, slightly fermenting cider-like appleness to it that's, I don't know, I don't think they've quite got the hang of making an apple note smell good in perfume. So you get kind of a, not quite a juicy apple in the opening mixed with this galbanum note, which is hard to describe, but it's slightly bitter, dirty, slightly earthy, and slightly green. To me, I don't personally like galbanum, so I'm not the biggest fan of the opening, but it transcends quite quickly. So if you're not a fan of that, it's not going to last very long. Within 5 minutes, I would say you're into the mid of the fragrance. And the mid, to me, is all about the jasmine tea note. I would guess that it's probably jasmine sweet tea CO2 extract, which is super smooth, very, very pretty. It's made by infusing sambac jasmine petals in green tea. It naturally has nuances of ylang ylang, which is also actually listed on the note breakdown. I would say that's probably listed more as a fantasy note, based on the natural nuance of the jasmine sweet tea at an educated guess. But nevertheless, it's super smooth. I think you have to enjoy the note of jasmine tea because basically that's what the fragrance is about. That's what you're going to smell for the longest period of time. It's very, very smooth jasmine infused green tea. It's very light, very pretty, completely unisex. As it hits the dry down, all that really changes is you're going to notice a little bit of mossiness and a little bit of woodiness. I don't really pick up on some of the notes, like I'd say I don't get a whole lot of frankincense, maybe like the tiniest little bit. I don't really get the oud or the musk, although I would say if you really dig for it, in the end of the dry down you are going to get a sense of the white oud. I actually have Indonesian white oud myself. It's quite potent and strong, kind of reminds me of, I don't know, damp sawdust that's kind of going a little bit mouldy, but it's not, it's a nice oud. It's not animalic, it's not a dirty skanky oud, it's more of the woody kind of tone oud. But there's, I think, just a very small amount in the dry down. It's not a note that you can really focus on unless you look for it. So to sum the fragrance up, I would say expect slightly bitter, slightly green, slightly fruity opening, transforming into a sweet, very, very smooth jasmine tea accord, into a slightly mossy, woody dry down. The performance on my skin was 6 hours longevity, with about an hour of a modest projection. The projection in sillage is fairly soft, it's not going to be too strong. I would say it's best suited to the spring, even the summer and maybe the autumn. Probably any occasion I think it's safe to wear, day, night, to work, however you want to wear it. It's very easygoing, very likable. I can see people getting compliments with this. It's very accessible and friendly. So I would say this is probably one of the easiest to wear from the Zoologist collection, along with Hummingbird and Nightingale. They're the most mass appealing scents in Zoologist. the less kind of challenging. This is fairly laid back and simplistic. There's not too much complexity to this one, but it's very pleasant, very easy to wear. I will read the inside of the note for you. It goes, high upon the mountain, a group of macaques rest and play, the young mentored by exacting elders. Inside a solemn temple, in the ancient mossy forest below, a ceremony takes place, a quest for inner peace. Frankincense, oud and jasmine tea chant in meditative harmony, their light floral and sweet offerings falling into rhythm with sweeping aromas of nature. Observing the macaques' orderly, hierarchical society, we can almost see our own hopes mirrored in their eyes. So I guess from that, maybe it's more of a Southeast Asian macaque monkey, in terms of, you know, the temple, you know, the incense and the jasmine tea and the meditative kind of thing. It would have been quite cool if this was based more on maybe the Indian macaques, because then I think you could have introduced something a little bit more exotic, like maybe taking the spice markets from India, so you could have like saffron in the opening mixed with, you know, fruits. I watched Planet Earth 2, which I highly recommend watching. David Attenborough narrates it. It's absolutely fantastic. And they did one called The City, and in that, macaques are jumping down the Indian market stall, stealing fruit. It's quite hilarious to watch. I think that would have been cool, because then you could have blended exotic spices from the market like saffron and cardamom, and blended it with, you know, fruits and florals. Could have been interesting to enhance the incense quality with a meditative thing. But yeah, very enjoyable, very easygoing, very likable. I would say you really need to enjoy the note of jasmine tea. That's the focus for me. You know, with a kind of a dirty green fruity opening and a mossy woody dry down. Hope you enjoyed the video, guys. I'll see you again next time. Take care. Bye.